Some tools print money, others burn it. So now we're going to talk about how to set up the ads and drive the ROI. The key, it's think of it like a combustion engine. Too lean, it's not running right. Too rich, it's not running right. So I always ask people, what's the not the least money you're willing to part with, right? But what's the most money you're willing to part with? Is it spending $1 to make $10? Of course, 10%, my hand is up. Is it spending $2 to make $10? Sure, my hand's still up, right? $3, $4, $5. The higher it costs for you to get a job, obviously, the less money you make. You always want to make the most possible, but you also don't want to choke yourself as well. And so you really have to ask yourself, what is the most? And that's for you to decide, not me. I can't tell you. I know what I'm willing to part with, but you are going to be different. On average, our clients step over 3 pennies to make $1. So that's 3% of a marketing spend. So our guys are pretty happy with the results that we get. And these are the rules that we're going to go through. Structure your pay-per-click campaign. I'm going to be touching into these further down in depth, but you got to remember, Google wants your money. You need to keep track of everything. You need to keep everybody honest, even the people that you're working with. There's a lot of people that always promise you the world and deliver junk, right? So you want to make sure that everything is transparent, everything is open. Google wants your money. They want you to spend money as fast as possible. They don't care if you're in business or not. A company like myself, I want you to be in business for life so I can partner with you and grow with you. We only want to partner with good fit companies. So our alignment goes hand in hand. We're always trying to make you the most money with the least amount of money possible for you to scale and grow. But you got to track this stuff. You've got to break down the campaigns. Your keywords, negative keywords are even more important than the actual keywords. And we're going to really do a deep dive into that. Standing out, writing ads that get the clicks next to everybody else that's out there as well. Better the ads, more clicks, cheaper the cost per conversion and per customer acquisition. And then using ad extensions. They have all these cool ad extensions that are great ways to get somebody to click on your stuff. And we're going to really dive into that as well. Landing pages, I'm going to do a whole nother training on conversions, but we're going to touch a little bit about landing pages and talk about conversions. And as always, you've always got to be testing these. These things change. There's a seasonality of our business. Nobody's getting a roof done the day before Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas dinner, let's face it. So even if you're in the tropics, there's still seasonality to what we do, right? Always testing. And this is like my first rule about Fight Club moment right here. It's like, don't ever spend a penny without having a transparent tracking in place that you own that you know is 100%. So let's talk about what are the tracking conversion essentials. Phone number swapping. You have to track everything. You have to track these phone numbers. And we even have them swapping out for the different ad campaigns. They call them keyword pool and dynamic number swapping. Your forms, your landing pages, your conversions. You have to track all this stuff. You have to know what is performing, and you also have to close the loop, right? You don't want to just, great, I got all these clicks. Okay, did it turn into a sale? No, you have to put that back into the system so Google knows what's successful or not. And this is always in flux, but these are like the KPIs to track, right? You're going to track your total spend. You're going to track your cost per click, your cost per lead. And these numbers vary in different markets. Low competition markets, about $100 to $200 a lead. Mid-tier metro markets, 300, it could be 5. I mean, if you're in Texas, it's cutthroat over there, right? Major competitive markets. And then cost per acquisition. You want to make sure that you're getting a 20, 30% close rate and you're closing on these and you're not dropping the ball. Because it's expensive. It's expensive to drop the ball. This is very expensive stuff. And then most importantly, you'll see this a lot, ROAS. So every dollar you spend, how much are you getting back? So they say a good way to gauge like a 5-to-1 ROAS is like minimal. Anything below that, you probably want to ditch it. 8 to 12, very strong. 15 and up, scale. And this is only going to get more expensive over time with AI coming out and new things coming out as well. Think of it like steak and gasoline. These prices only go up, and once they go up, they seem to never come down, right? A little trick too is like The better your trust signals are in your ads and in your marketing and the way you present yourself, it's going to fall into this as well. It's going to be cheaper. Trust signals are like your reviews, like the way you present yourself, the branding on your trucks, the way your website is, all that stuff, the way your landing pages are, the associations that you're in. That also helps with conversions. And this is a sample of like the dashboard that we use, okay? Like you need to have a dashboard. This is a must, right? You could get away with doing Excel spreadsheets and junk like that, but there's so many softwares out there. We use a company called Agency Analytics that ties into everything. So it ties into all this stuff, but also ties into your Job Nimbus or Service Titan or whoever uses your back end CRM as well. So you could do the full loop. And just to kind of give you an example of this, I put in like this is what 100 leads looks like. You spent 1,500 bucks to our services, the marketing company, another 1,500 bucks for the actual ad spend. Also, don't ever let anybody mark up your ad spend. Always have that transparent. And this is your cost per lead, right? 3,000 divided by 100 is 30. But once again, 40% of these leads are going to be junk. People trying to sell you stuff, right? So you really got 60 leads. So your qualified lead that you were able to book an appointment on was 50. So then you start to break down, okay, this is how many calls you're getting. These are how many are from pay per click. These are how many from local service ads. These are how many from form fills. And we even break it down further. This report, there's like 20, 30, 40 pages behind these reports. But this is like the dashboard that you can log in and look at and see every day. So you always know what's going on and it's not a mystery, right? And then this is the ROI portion of this report. So out of the 60 with a 20% close rate at a 19,000 a job roof, that was the projected revenue. That was your investment. It was 76 to 1. We checked with on this one, it was Job Nimbus, and that's the exact money that they had closed for that month. And if something doesn't match or something's disconnected, you've got to find out what it is that is disconnected so you can go back in and fix it. And then once again, this is on gross margin, not net profit margin. So if you're 20%, 30%, 40% margins, get that number down as well. And like I always say, it's not how little you're willing to spend, it's what are you comfortable with spending to make that dollar? What do you risk putting up in order to get a return? All right, the next mistake is ad structure, right? Not knowing the right tool for the right job. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. And we're going to talk about how to structure these ad campaigns. Number one, buyer's intent, right? Very different from a residential, residential roofing guys, they're problem driven. They're searching when something leaks or breaks or can't wait any longer. Sometimes they hold on until forever, it seems like, and they kick that can down the curb, right? But these are kind of the different intent campaigns that we run. Emergency and storm damage, things like roof leak, we could come today, storm damage, roof repair, emergency tarping. And then there's the roof replacement with financing for residential, because at the end of the day, stuff is expensive. If you have financing, it will convert better. Selling the payments, not selling the overall thing. Can you afford this for 149 a month, or no interest finding, or zero down? And then your inspections and preventative search, right? 21-point free inspection. Is your roof okay? Is it still in shape? Inspection with same day estimate. And then here you have the commercial replacement and maintenance as well. And the commercial is a whole different animal. It's a whole different funnel. It's a bid process. It's a lot different, but it's also a lot bigger jobs as well. And then once you get in with them, if it's a construction company or property management company, think of the residual that you get on top of that, getting the next job after that. This is how to structure the campaign. We're going to break down each one of these campaigns and talk about the structure and show examples. Number one, for emergency and storm damage, we just went over this, right? These campaigns are really win or lose based on speed and not so much the ad copy or price, because it's a lot different animal when you're in an emergency situation. You want somebody that could come out today. You don't want to wait till tomorrow. Just like if you got a big hole in your roof or a storm just came and blew a tree through your roof or whatever, you need somebody to help you now. And this is sort of like, the typical ad that you would want to see, right? So this is based off an emergency service, and you could see these little call to actions as well. Next one's going to be roof replacement with financing. Monthly payment is an easier frame than the entire job, of course, right? So financing plays a big play in this, and this is, what you can use to position yourself over other roofers that don't offer financing. Or if it's your ad next to another ad and everybody's saying the same thing, this might be that one little thing, that one little ingredient that puts you over the top to make people click on your ad and not the guy that's running the ad right next to you. And you can see this is a pretty good one for us. 0 down, 18 months, no interest. Once again, you can also see hide sponsor results. So Google, they don't care about your ads. They care about the people using Google, your customers, right? This one is about inspections and preventative, residential, and a little bit of commercial. And the golden nugget on this is for pipeline development, not so much revenue. We all know that, yes, we want to do a roof replacement, but at the end of the day as well, getting the repair, putting them in your CRM and your database, cooking it over time, and then getting the job later on down the road, that's where marketing comes in. That's really what we do well with. And you do that with touches and automations and things of that nature. And this is sort of like what we do, right? 21-point roof inspection, roofer near me. And you can also see the type of ad that has, right? Now we're going to commercial replacement, maintenance, compliance. There's a lot of residential roofers that think they're commercial roofers, but there's levels to that game. Commercial construction is very deep. There's a difference between doing a small flat roof on a gas station and doing the roof of the United Center where the Bulls play. But that being said, you can still get invited to bids and people are still looking. It's just a different animal, different funnel. Property management companies, construction companies, property development companies, they're doing a lot of homework. If you think a homeowner is doing a lot of homework on the commercial side, it's even more. And the trick is not to treat it like a residential. Just keep in mind, once again, who your intent is. So this one was for a flat roof repair, and you could see the difference. So takeaways on this, intent based, a lot of these companies fail in Google Ads because they're just lumping it all together. Like I always use that analogy, piece of pizza with 20 toppings. And the high performing accounts, they separate everything, they optimize everything, and they rinse and repeat. For city and territory based, you have to beware on this, okay? So the map ads that you can put on the map used to be able to control everything that they did. Nowadays, they took that away and they call them PMax, Performance Max. You got to watch out for those. Performance Max is like their Google's pretty word for saying automated. Anytime you click any of the automated stuff inside of Google, Google wants your money. They are taking your money. So in order to set these up correctly, because now the only way you could do map ads is through this PMax, is you really have to set the guardrails up high. I've seen it to where we put an ad out there and all of a sudden they start getting ads in Alaska. I mean, it just goes to show that you really have to set those guardrails pretty high because they are in it to spend your money. And this kind of outlines the best tools for the job. So search, that's the core for both residential and commercial. The map ads, those are very strong for residential. Certain situations in commercial, depending on your specialty, what you do, the circumstance, different buyer's intent, you could go way further out, right, than just the map. Depends on how specialized you are in commercial construction, commercial roofing. I don't like PMAX's control, but I have to use it for maps. Display, that's for when you're a $10 million company. YouTube as well, that's another branding play. It could get very expensive and it eats up your budget. So you really want to start with these ones first. And now we'll talk about like web pages versus landing pages. I get this question all the time. We're going to be doing a training either next month or the month after about landing pages, web pages, conversions on those pages. I don't want to use that time in this webinar in particular because we're going to dive deep into that and we could chain it to that at a later date. But yes, your website, your service and area pages, you can use them if they match the ad groups that you're putting on there. It supports long-term authority, it supports SEO and AI, EO, and also the quality of what's on the page. Quick way to do things is put up a landing page. The only bad thing about the landing page is you don't get any SEO or AI juice off of it because they're hidden from search indexes. They're locked out. The good thing is you can put them up very fast. So when we do a campaign or you start working with a marketing company, we could do Google ads right out of the gate. We don't have to wait until your whole website funnel is built. We could do landing pages right now and run ad campaigns and get money in the kitty for you right now.